Hello.
Hello, Renāte. Hi. So you play Bach, right?
Right. The two movements, the first two movements.
First two movements.
Yes.
Okay, let's see, please.
Okay, what would you prefer? I play the first one or the both of them?
I think it's nice if you can play both,
Okay, I can do that.
and then we will practice. Yeah. Then we will see which ingredients are missing. Good. Very good. Shall we start with this movement, because now you played it now second, so it's still fresh.
Yep.
I have a question about the circular breathing.
What question?
Is it necessary?
I don't know. Maybe.
Of course, it's a matter of taste, you know. I think every oboe player, we all have to know how to do it, and possibly, in my subjective opinion, very seldom use it when there is really any other chance.
Oh, yeah.
To play in one breathing.
There are chances to play without it.
Sorry?
There are chances to play without. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the music should breathe in natural way, and if we do, it's fantastic to have such a effect and such a tool as a circular breathing. And time to time, for example, if we have to play Bizet, second movement, Symphony of Bizet in C major, the second movement, the oboe solo, which is divided in first and second oboe, and if the conductor is asking to play only one player, the principal oboe, to play all solo, then it's physically not possible to play in one breathing, and we have to use here and there a little bit of the circular breathing. But I think at first place, and also here in Bach, I think it's very important to let also the music, to give the music some rest, and not just kind of at any price to go through and as far as possible because of the circular breathing. I think you do it wonderfully. You can manage the circular breathing very well. But my question is it really necessary? So I think maybe we can try first to see which kind of natural breathing, maybe to breathe a little bit more often. Obviously, you will need a little bit more often some breathings in the natural way. And in the second movement, you prepare every natural breathing well, in the sense of that you don't play completely forward until the place where you breathe. Ya pa 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 pi pa 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 la pa 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 pi. So you prepare, you do a little bit of the timing before the natural breathing, which is good. I think it's good. It's better to do than not to do. Otherwise, it will sound very artificial. But the difficulty of this partita, of course, which is physically very demanding, also very heavy, we all know that. It's very important. It's like in Strauss concerto with your colleague just before. It's very important to know exactly the places where you breathe, because they are related directly to the musical structure you choose for this particular piece of music. So we have to, the research and kind of the idea to practice at home and to search for these places at home should be very serious, and cannot be achieved after maybe one time, but we need to do it a few times to be sure that musically it works, and physically you feel the most comfortable, and musically it sounds appropriate. So this is important, because it's heavy. You cannot play maybe these two movements 25 times in a row. You have to do a couple of times, and then you make a break, and then you do again, etc., etc. But I think still it's very important to at home maybe make sense to go a little bit deeper in this breathing system and the breathing timing, where you really need, and where the music is asking, and where it's appropriate, and where it's not appropriate, because you will cut the musical line too much. The other question is what I observe directly with you, which is directly related to what we just talked about. I have an impression that you take every time the similar amount of air.
Maybe.
Maybe, but again,
Maybe.
this is something to think about, and to try to go a little bit more in depth with this kind of thing. But the point is, sometimes we see a breathing in the solo piece physically heavy like this, we think, okay, we need to take maximum, we are like a balloon and we have to take maximum of air possible, while in reality we don't need it every single time. And this is another experiment which I invite you and I suggest you to try at home, very in the calm, completely in the calm, without any stress, just to try out and to see and to experiment with the amount of air you take. Sorry. Because some places you think that you need to, as I say, to take so much, and while you musically and physically you don't need so much. And then on the long term, it might play a very positive role, because the breathing is accumulating and then it's going higher, 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 and your position is getting higher, and then you start to bite, and then you start to use the circle breathing, not to relieve the reed and to use the position which you already have, not to have any extra change, because you're already kind of controlling it like this.
Okay, maybe that happened.
I think it makes sense also to physically to let some blood circulate with the lips, with the lips muscles, to give a little bit more reliefs to this. And this is we are going back to the talk we just started about the circular breathing. Let's see. Let's try maybe now to skip the circular breathings, and let's see if you how you manage. And how it feels, but the idea will be again the same what I said to your first the colleague Varvara, I think, is to try to breathe really with open mouth, not half open, because now it's very clear you are breathing. It's immediately reflecting on the sound quality. It's like the amplituda. You understand amplituda? If you use this amplituda, you breathe. This is one quality of the sound which will appear. If you breathe, it's not about the dynamic, it's about what I said already with Varvara, it's about the volume of the sound, and what we are all searching for in the end is the freedom of the air going through the instrument. This is what we are all searching for, especially with such a physically challenging instrument like oboe, like the oboe instrument. So, of course, that's why the oboe is in the Book of Records of Guinness, because of the emission of the sound at first place. So the air is the element number one, absolutely by far. So let's try now one more time with the breathing really open. Try to open the mouth, think about yawning. I don't know if you were in the hall during the first lesson of Varvara.
Heard something.
Yeah, so you heard something already maybe. So I am now repeating certain things which I find really essential. And now when I feel also in the first moment, it was pretty clear to me that you managed very well, very well. But at certain point, somewhere middle of the movement, which is normal in a way, you start to bite, I think, too much. The start to bite, it's coming in the sense of your chin, so your low lip and your chin, you push up too much. If this happens, the air has no chance to go through anymore. And that's why I think it's so important, and that's why I invite you for now, at least like an exercise, to try to avoid and to skip the circular breathing, but to do more natural breathing with open mouth, to help and to use these moments also to open the mouth while playing after, not to let the chin progressively going up all the time. So to relieve and to try to control, because as far as we go too high, the air is blocking. If we think the air is going, and then it's all about how you control it with the embouchure in order to focus the note and to find the fuller and rounder sound. Let's try. There are also few, this is of course technical, but there are few things also musically which I would like to understand. I am afraid we will not have much time now to do more technical work like the articulation. I have some comments about that.
Okay.
Maybe we will be able to. We will ask the organizers of the masterclass to have the email address, and I can send you the articulation, which I think maybe will be appropriate for this couple of movements. Just to give you some ideas, and then if you like them, if you like it, you can use them. If you don't like them, you forget about it and you do your way. It's no problem. So let's try one more time. So of course, with Bach, with any Bach, many people say we should not play this too light. This is not Vivaldi, this is not Telemann. We need a little bit more, like feeling a little bit more in the stomach, no? A little bit heavier. Pam pagadagadam dagadam pam pim pam 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 pim dagadam pam 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 pira. The other thing is, of course, these 8 notes, for example, in the bar 3, low notes, the re and the do, the D and the C. This is a second voice. It's also important here, but it would be nice to have a little bit more clarity between the voices generally. It was also for me a comment a little bit about the first movement, but here it's in a way it's even a little bit more clear. Let's try the beginning. No. The breathing in tempo. Stop. Good. So what we need, how you want to breathe? Do you want to breathe on the 8th note or on the quarter before? Pam pam or pam pam.
I don't know.
This is very important because you always have, this should be very clear. You are like that because you are alone here. You don't have to take care of the pianist to make a sign. You don't have to make a sign to the violinist and the string quartet or to the cello player or whatever. You are complete. You are the boss. You are by your own.
Okay.
But you are also a conductor for yourself. Okay. So the upbeat you give yourself, like a conductor, it should be crystal clear. If you do it between the quarter and the 8th note, the upbeat, the tempo, the people are already confused about the tempo. This we have to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Good. It sounds very nice. I am enjoying listening. But musically, the sound quality is very nice. So now, musically, I have some doubts here. Mm-hmm. I think I understand what you want. I have some question marks. There are things I don't really agree. And that's why it's good we are here. We can discuss this. So first of all, pam pam. The upbeat should be very, very clear, like we said, because the breathing will be clear. Now, last time was better. So also what I said to Varvara, to avoid any kind of stress, any kind of possible stress, because I ask you now to exaggerate and to do almost like an exercise, the breathing really with the open mouth, you should already place the reed on the down lip, on the low lip, and it's not moving. Pam pam. You don't have to search where to put the reed when you breathe, because it will create unnecessary stress. The embouchure is already prepared, kind of. The reed is already on the down lip, which allows you to breathe with open mouth, but it's not moving anyway. It's already there. This is one thing. The other thing, the first beat, a little bit more gravity, a little bit more. With Bach, we need more weight down. Tam tagadam dagadam pam pim pam 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 pim tagadam pam pam. So the harmonic march is going second bar, second beat F, first beat third bar E flat, same bar later D C, fa mi re do. This is already the clear harmonic way down. So anything else is the second voice. I would suggest, for example, in the bar 3, the 2 16 notes G, F sharp to slurred. Pim taradam pam 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 para. I think staccato here it works, but I think legato it will bring a little bit more lightness, which we need for the contrast here. So let's try.
Okay.
Now the other thing is just to talk a little also about a couple of other elements. I hear. Correct me if I hear wrong, or if I had a wrong impression. Correct me. But to me, it was pretty much clear that you are phrasing into the second beat bar 5, into the second beat bar 6.
Yes.
Why would you phrase to the second beat, which is a light beat in the 3/4 bar? So, it's a very good question. Why? We have to think more often about this question in different situations. No, it's a good question. So, I think unless there is a clear indication by the composer to lead because he puts an accent or something like that on the second beat, on the light beat of the bar, like here, like a 3/4 bar, then we can consider, we will have to respect the text, and then we will consider to phrase into the second beat. But normally I don't see any reason why we have to go to the only clear light beat of the bar, because if you do that, it's like you walk normal, and then suddenly you start to walk like this. So music start to walk like this as well. And I think it's a very pity, especially in such a piece, any piece by Bach, where, as we just discussed, we need much more gravity and heavier feeling, with like having not being very slim person, no, with a little bit belly, no,
Yeah.
Heavier, a little bit heavier.
Yeah,
So
okay.
this is the idea. So I would definitely suggest to order laga daga daga diga daga da, liga daga 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 da. This is clear, bar 5 and 6, to lead more into the first beat, and then it's lighter. The second beat is lighter, and the continuation, so the last 16 notes, for example, bar 5, are leading into the first beat of the bar 6. In the same way, the 16 notes of the bar 4 are leading into the first beat of the bar 5. And then comes something else, bar 7, 8. Daga 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 diga daga da. 1 2 3 1 2 3 re mi fa re si mi fa sol mi do re mi do la si do la re mi fa re si do re mi do si la. So now you play it with a lot of quality, but it's very, very straight. Musically, I don't understand exactly what you want, because I don't hear any relaxation inside of the music. So often in the Baroque different dances, the second beat is lighter. So here I definitely would suggest to make a little bit more flexible the second beat, bar 7, bar 8, for example, also bar 9. So you are going into the first beat, second beat is lighter, third beat is a direction to the next first beat. Laga daga daga. So basically, second beat is in the brackets. It's at home. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. This is the idea. Otherwise, we just play completely straight. Daga 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 da. The sound quality is very good, but musically I think we can do something a little bit more. The music will win, the music will gain, the music will win from the moment we have more flexibility inside and not just one block going completely straight. Let's try from the beginning, thinking of all these elements we just talked about, please. thank you very much. This is generally, on my taste, much better.
Okay.
Much better. And more than that, so as we said, I believe that if you go in this direction more, and I think you still should go more, but this is already much better, musically you win. But physically, you also win, because now you are less tired. That's also very clear. Because the air is not static, it is not going permanently in the same way. Now, I still need a little bit more first note, first bar. Pam, pagadagada, re, sol. Pam, pagadagada. Then, all the articulations on the 8 notes and the quarter notes, I think should be more resonant, like a ping pong ball. Pum, 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 pum. So with the resonance, with the response.
Okay.
This is very important. So to achieve that, technically, when you hit the reed with your tongue, now the impression is that your tongue is staying too close to the reed, to the tip of the reed. So you articulate tam taga daga da taga ta 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 ta. There is no space in between. So there is not enough resonance. So the note sounds relatively flat, not intonation, but as a sound. Ta 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 ta. Of course, I exaggerate. But the idea is now, let's try to have much more ping pong ball in the sense of the tongue should do like this. Pum, 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 pum. The tongue is hitting the reed and quickly going back, creating with the palate, creating inside of the mouth something rounder. Not. So this should be the idea. But again, all this will work only when you are based on the air. The air is element number 1, the tongue is element number 25. It's very important, but the air is the priority, the absolute priority. Let's try one more time, and the first breathing, let's try still to exaggerate a little bit, as an exercise. Stop, very good, very good. The beginning now, first time, was by far better.
Okay.
What I hear. I hope you feel in the same way. So now, to avoid the flat articulation on the 8 notes, let's try to exaggerate the embouchure a little bit more, less stiff and a little bit more flexible, like a caoutchouc. Pam 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 tam taga daga da daga pam 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 pam. This is what the embouchure should do in the idea. Let's try one more time, please. Same breathing quality. That was very good. Very good. I don't know how you feel, but you sound much freer.
I am much freer.
Sorry?
I am.
Yes, it's much freer, much freer. I am very happy. This is very nice. So now, also musically much better. It's much more alive and much more diverse, with more diversity. Now it's much more multicolor. Before it was a little bit black and white. Again, I exaggerate, but it's important to get a clear impression. So let's see. Bar 12. You play, this is another general comment also which was very clear in the first movement. you play very honest. It's
Okay.
good. Very good. Very good. And especially with Bach, we should not try to avoid things. We should do things properly. But very, very too honest, it's also not necessary. Because musically, because it sounds every note is there, it's very nice, sound quality generally very good, but again, it's not flexible, probably missing some part of flexibility there. Relief, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. No. 2, 3 are already as a kind of musically resonance of the first note. Si, la, sol, re, pa, ra, ra, pa. Prepare on the low note, open more, think not to push the chin up, otherwise the low C sharp or will sound very squeezed with too much metal in the sound, too many high harmonics, or it will not speak at all. Both options we don't want. So, to help, to prepare in advance, even physically you can go a little bit lower without changing any angle. Not to change the angle of the oboe, not to change the angle of the head, and especially not to block the neck. Same position, you have a natural angle, it's good. All together from the middle of the body, a little bit lower. Can we try, just as an experiment, just one note, the low C sharp, with the normal position you have. Do diez. Now a little bit lower altogether. Do you feel any difference?
Maybe.
One more time, so normal position. Yes, and now if you go a little bit, so your natural, like a natural angle, and then you go a little bit lower to search a little bit lower for the powerful sound. I hear the difference. So makes sense to try. Makes sense to try things out in this way. Maybe we can try. Let's try a beat to bar 5, please. So prepare a little bit when this low C sharp is coming in the bar 13. Last 4 notes before that, prepare a little bit more. In any case, every time when you have the articulation, 3 notes flirted and the last one separate, the second and third are less than the first, not same intensity. Very important, because this is the, just I finish and I stop talking. This element repeats all the time. It's through all movement, this element. So if you do it one time, it's like you didn't do any. We will not hear, nobody will hear any difference. But if you do it, if you use it in almost all or maybe all the similar cases like this, the general picture of the movement will be completely transformed into something where the music will gain a lot, from where the music will gain a lot. Very good. Sorry. Very good. Now, that was much better. The low C sharp, I think, was already better. Now, the speaking notes, the repeating notes should be absolutely crystal clear articulation bar 15. Para papa piri pipi. Every time when you have also bar 13. Tara papa piri papa papa papa. not wah wah wah, not approximate. Pam 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 pam. Always speaking. With the resonance, and the ping pong ball is one of the possible images, let's say, to help to achieve that. Now the other thing was, on my taste, you can give a little bit more direction and intensity on the high C sharp, bar 17.
Yep. Okay.
This way I'm missing. You play very well, but it sounds also same, and the intensity seems to be the same. I think it should be much more here. And then I like very much that you change the character into something much lighter. This is perfect. I think this breathing is not necessary at all. Okay. Because both it's times, also, yeah. You are taking too much time. Sorry?
Both times, because I'm changing my breathing.
I mean the breathing in the bar 19 after the first 8 note.
Yeah, but the second time I don't breathe, but the first time I breathe.
Because you breathe after the high C sharp in 17, right? Sol, la, si, re, sol, la, si, re, sol, la, di, do, do, ri, ta, 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 ti, ta. And then you can play completely easily. I guarantee, yeah, without circle breathing, okay. You can play easily until the end of the first half of the movement.
Okay.
Both times, and also with the timing. Now it's too much. Now you want to do something nice and some kind of surprise, but you prepare the surprise. Then it's not a surprise anymore. So we have to skip this part. The goal would be not to rush the first 16 note on the G sharp, which is the second note of the bar 19. Also, the 16 notes can be a little bit lighter, and that's why, again, when you have only 2 16 notes, I think slurted element will work nicely. And then re, sol, la, si. It's all in the middle register. Do, re, si, re, mi, re, do, si, do. Going up, mi, fa, sol, mi, re, do, si, la. A little bit different color and a little bit higher, so can be a little bit more shiny. Taradam, pim, taradada, tari, ta, 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 tam, pam, pa, pa, pi, pa, pam, pim, pim. Re, fa, mi, re, la, si, sol, fa, re, mi, do, re. It's all, everything is balanced here, so we have to make it very clear. Let's do one time from the beginning now, like for the second time, and continue for the second half of the movement. Once more, no problem. Think a little bit lower, I think altogether, a little bit lower position might help to feel, only I'm talking, to feel how air is going into the instrument. Good. I just wanted to see how you will do the connection. For me, it's uncomparable to the first time.
Okay, thank you.
Everything is much, much, much better, and the life and diverse and much more inspiring. Very nice. Very nice. Very good. Now, I don't think it makes sense to do so much ritenuto in the end before the double bar.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe very little, but now it's not a little bit. It's more than that. And then we continue, Also, the timing now without breathing in the bar 19 is perfect. Perfect. Super nice. Let's do the second half. Now it's. I was talking a lot, trying to explain. Now it's your turn. So in the second half we have many similar places, like in the first, just with the different notes, but similar elements. Now you have to, if you need to, few seconds to look with the eyes through and to think already which second and third 16th note you can relieve a little bit more, which note should be very clearly articulated like a ping pong ball, etc., etc. All these elements. Now I would like you to try to do yourself as many of them as possible. Okay, I will stop here. Thank you very much. This is nice. You did quite a lot. Not all, but all is a lot.
Yes.
But you did quite some. So this is very good. Let's go. Pam pika daga 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 di lagadim pam pim tigadim pam pim parido pam la si do la fa, not la si do la fa, no, la si do la fa. And again from 27 again 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. Then of course musically it's going much more by 2 bars 31 32. I think all this should be articulated, but as I said, it's a pity that we have it's like this. We have very limited time. So let's try to organize that I have a chance to send you my articulation to some email address. Let's see
Okay.
how we can do that. But again, it's action relaxation. 31. Crescendo during the bar into the first beat of 32 and then relieve. Not straight, not everything statically straightforward. Same thing in the bar 33, 34. And then we go building up. Always try to catch a little bit more and give a little bit more attention to the very top note. Otherwise it's like, a good pianist playing something very virtuoso, I don't know, by Liszt, and then there is a big jump to the very high note and then it sounds dull. It's a pity. So the top note should always have a little extra attention. That would be good. So the C, for example, in the bar 30. 39. For me, the G is very long, and here actually you don't breathe, but I think you should. Musically here, it's completely natural, it seems to me. This is like a broken chord on the cello in the Bach suites. La pa pi, la pa 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 da da di da 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 dum pum pe. Change of color and also the tonality. Pa 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 pi ri ri pi 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 pa da da to to ti to to ti. C minor, very dark tonality. So this change should be very clear in the bar 44. Good. Let's try. Second half. One more. Thank you. One more time. Re, mi, fa, si, re. Directly, if you breathe before this bar, 35, you breathe, but then let's keep the movement. La, pa, 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 pa. 8 and or maybe la, pa, 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 pa. Yeah, 8 and 4. Taka, tika, tika, taka, 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 tika, taka, 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 taka. 1, 2, 3, 1. It's about the same thing. Directly, 35, please. Why again to the second beat in 38 and 39?
High notes. Maybe because of them.
La pa pi pa pi pa pi pa 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 pa, because we are still in the middle of this 1 2 3 1 2 more, a little bit more dancing. Otherwise 1 2 1 2. We are working like this. Maybe directly 31. Same place, yeah, 31.
Oh, okay.
Last time, this is much better, but the G sounds much more important than the low C sharp. Which instrument in the orchestra more important, the second bassoon or the piccolo? I will tell you, the most important instrument is second bassoon, because it's the beginning of the chord. When you have to build the chord, some difficult chord for intonation in some Brahms symphony only with the woodwind section, you start to, if you need to build the chord and to check the intonation, you don't start with the flute, you start with bassoon. If bassoon is out of tune, it's dead. It will not happen. So, but of course, people are playing together. There is not one person who is wrong. We have to adapt, etc., etc. But still, the idea is la pa pi. Now you play la pa pa. Again, you are too honest. You keep so long the G. It's too honest. Relieve the G. La pa pi, la pa 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 pa, and then give a little bit more continuation after the breathing for the following material. Maybe directly 39, or 37, or 38, or 39, whatever is more comfortable for you. 38. This is not right. I think the line should go until the G, until the tonica. I think it's very easy to breathe because you are stopping in the most crucial moment. La pa 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 pa. Stop. La pa pi pa pi. I think it's not completely logic to me. I think you go into the first beat of 53, and after the first note, after the first G of 53, you breathe. Fa re la re fa re mi re fa re 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 sol pa pi pa pi pa 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 pi pa 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 pa.
Okay.
But see, these things are essential. These breathings are essential because they reflect on the musical line, on the how you build, how you want to, until where you want to go. It's super, super important. That's why for us the breathings in such a pieces is the priority number one. Let's do 50, please, 50. No problem. Can you try to liberate the staccato? The tongue is again too close to the reed. Pam 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 pam. I hear pa 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 pa. Pam 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 pam. More exchange. Good. First thing, let's try to skip the last breathing.
Okay.
Second thing, the last note without cutting like this. Completely unnecessary. Let the note sounds pure, because if you more movement you do inside of one simple note, and especially the very last note, which is very pure, round, simple but pure, full. La pa pi pa pim pam pam, pi pa ra pa pi pa 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 pa. More movement you do, the air cannot do this. If you do this, the air is not going into the reed, you lose immediately the sound quality and the last note doesn't sound nice. Just the end, last two bars. Yes, without going up with the oboe. Control. Pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pam pam. On my taste, I know there is a fermata, but still we are searching for some natural resonance of the note, not artificially prolong the note. Pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pa. No, pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pam pam. In the whole, give it to the public. Yes, you are still going with it. You are doing this. Pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pa. It's only a matter of control. If you don't think about it, as I said to Varvara about something else, if you don't think about these kind of things, it will not come by itself. You have to try to control. You have to be alert. Practice in front of the mirror at home for a while. Why not? Just to see, because sometimes we are not conscious how quickly we go up. Control. Yes. And the last note, when you stop the note, the air should still a little bit continue. You don't cut the note like this, like with the scissors for the garden. No, absolutely not. Ta ta ri pa pi pa 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 pam pam. The air is still going. Let's try the last note a little bit. You have to imagine the circle inside of last note. Pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pam pam. You play it flat now. Relatively flat. Pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pa. No. Pa pa ri pa pi pa 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 pam. Round. Yes, much better already. Already much better.
Okay, one more time.
Last two bars. Yes, it's better. Then you will control that it would not be, that the quality will be, you will keep the same quality until the very end. But this is much better. Well, unfortunately, we are completely out of time and we don't have any time to do the first movement, but I prefer that we tried to do the second movement with many details. I think it's better in the way than to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So also because these elements which we talked about, especially about the flexibility, should play a very important role, and I invite you to think further about this.
Yeah. Should I play?
No, I think we stop here. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
It's very nice.